And welcome back to the final match of the group stages where we have two major 0.0 alliances battling it out just as we heard Michael Bolton make every excuse under the sun why Test Alliance is not competing.
Well, and Goonswarm would have competed if we remembered where to send our bill. All right, so we have Solar Fleet and Razor Alliance, and one quick correction, this is not the group stage, this is the bracket stage. Two fleet setups, we haven't seen anything like this in the tournament so far. A solid Amar team from Razor, 3 Absolutions, a Guardian, 2 Curses, 2 Heretics, and 2 Crewors versus a Solar Fleet mixed bag of a Legion, a Loki, a Neros, 2 Hugins, and the triumphant return of Stealth Bombers with 5 Stealth Bombers.
Exactly. What it looks like here, Solar Fleet has bought a kiting bomber setup with damps, while Razor has bought a long-range Absolution anti-rush team with curses. Very, very strange setups all around.
And you can see those dams that Ewar flying across the field right now. These are... This is something we haven't seen in the tournament at all. I'm really curious to see how this plays out.
Very interesting. Looks like Solar Fleet is starting to pull a little bit closer towards the Razor fleet here. They are rushing in. However, one Absolution, Zeph from Razor, has chosen not to move anywhere whatsoever.
He is leading a charge across the battlefield directly at Solar Fleet.
While the rest of his team is moving away from him. What is going on? This is where the individual piloting comes so much into question.
It seems like now Razor's turning around and they're charging the Solar Fleet team. It seems like maybe they're damped and have decided to try to get right on top of them. Those are pulse lasers fit on the Absolution.
Yeah, very, very strange that he would be the only one that decides to go in there. He is probably damped out of range now of that Guardian, and correctly so. Solar Fleet has caught that and has primaried him while putting all the damps possible on the Guardian, which was their first call. However, that hero Absolution is making a difference and is taking down the first Manticore from Solar Fleet.
Yeah, Razor's still split up all across the field. Solar Fleet taking some damage on a Hugin, and one of their Manticores has been hit, but really tanking most of what they're getting, while Razor Alliance is taking damage all over the place. Zeph, his tank is holding, but now it's going down. I think that Absolution is going to be gone here in a second.
Zeph is now starting to catch reps from Alan. He is catching the reps. The Guardian has moved into range. He saw the mistake made by the Absolution pilot and decided to pull in there.
But Solar switched targets to the Crewors. Now the Crewors are taking heavy damage. It looks like Solar's splitting up the damage, trying to make life hard for that Guardian. He can't keep everybody alive, and Solar Fleet's capitalizing on that.
Exactly. Those Crewors decided it was a good chance, good decision to boldly go where that Absolution went and rushed directly towards the Solar Fleet Hugin setups and lost a few ships in there and possibly losing all of their crews as a mix-up.
I think that's what Solar Fleet wanted to do with those dams, draw them in, and it worked against Razor. As Razor crossed the battlefield, things turned bad for them. They've now lost 2 ships, but it seems the Guardian has stabilized things. He's keeping everyone alive, but he himself is taking damage now.
Exactly. This is very strange turn-ups all around. First, we had Solar Fleet chasing the Razor fleet. Now we have Razor chasing Solar.
The Solar Fleet, which seems like look like they're in the superior position now, but they're starting to get a lot of damage. The Legion is taking damage. One of their Manticores is dropping now too. Fire is being spread all over the place.
Looks like for some reason Ellen, the Solar Fleet Legion pilot, decided to stay back and has now been caught and is being heavily raised by Dead Duck, being neutered, being scrammed, being webbed, everything possibly damage arriving on him very quickly here. And the Legion is taking heavy damage now as the pole setups get right on top of him. Yep. He, for some reason, decided to stay there too long without coming ahead with the rest of the gang. And this is how matches turn.
Yep, Razor, looks like they're going to be able to turn things around. This Legion cannot keep up. Deep structure now is about to explode. Boom, the Legion's down. First ship on the Solar Fleet side lost. Can Razor turn this one around?
And Solar Fleet just lost another bomber. That is majority of their damage. Well, a lot of their damage now gone. This is turning into Razor's advantage very quickly.
As Razor's pulse laser setups get close to the Solar Fleet bombers, they're going to be able to rip them apart in seconds. And those mana cores are trying to stay away from them.
For some reason, the Solar Fleet Loki now stayed behind as well, perhaps to try to help his buddy in danger. But now he is got neutered and scrambled as well, and he will start taking heavy damage here very quickly.
It's not looking good for him. Razor's Guardian is taking damage. Solar Fleet's shooting him, but he's tanking most of it so far. The rest of the Razor Fleets look like they're in pretty good shape. So another Solar Fleet Mana Core is taking fire now. He's dropping down into deep armor. A Nemesis is getting shot at, but he's getting repped up. Razor's starting to spread fire amongst all of those little Mana Cores.
This is, of course, the right tactic to take here. They only have one on arrows on the Solar Fleet side. If they can split damage between all of these 4 bombers, they are undoubtedly going to catch
exactly
you, and they just did it.
Every
they just
bomber
took out
fire.
one bomber, and they're very close to bringing down this Manticore, which is catching rep. But at the same time, this Nemesis is going down, and he's gone.
They're going down. Solar Fleet now down to 2 bombers. With the loss of those bombers, Solar Fleet's DPS is going to take a massive hit. Another bomber down. Razor's going to turn this one around after all.
And all of the bombers now down from the Solar Fleet side. I don't know where that one bomber just disappeared in one flash. It was a boundary violation by the Solar Fleet bomber here, and he didn't keep enough good control of his range, and he got bopped.
A continuing problem with these kite teams is paying attention to where the edge of the arena is. There's a million things to pay attention to when you're flying a kite team. Target calling, who's taking damage, where you are, and if you let one of those little details slip, you can find yourself flying out of the arena and getting the button of CCP Zenitras pushed, making you explode into tiny particles of space dust.
Who is, of course, a dev and not a GM.
A dev and not a GM, that's right. We would never call you a GM, CCP Zenitras, at least not me.
This match is now turning into Razor's favor. Of course, this match is pretty much, I would call it as done. This is over. Solar Fleet, it is a mop-up duty now by the Razor Alliance. There's not enough damage left on the Solar Fleet side to take down that Guardian even. Razor initially made what looked like a mistake by one pilot charging boldly while the rest of them were kiting away. However, he got saved in about structure there, and after that, Razor made some good choices. Their crew pilots, perhaps not the brightest of the bunch, however, they were able to pull it back.
It was close. It did seem like Razor was maybe being webbed and held back, but once they were able to catch up and keep their team together, they just overcame the Solar Fleet with those pulse lasers.
And what a wonderful match to watch. This is, could have gone either way, but individual piloting took this for Razor Alliance. They made some good calls. They split the damage when they needed to split the damage. They were able to take down those bombers fast enough. And now what the situation we're seeing is that, while Razor Alliance doesn't have a whole lot of damage to bring this Loki down, it doesn't matter because all of the damage on the Solar Fleet side is gone.
Solar
Those
Fleet
bombers
just
are dead.
Solar Fleet just doesn't have enough DPS to beat through the repping and tanking ability of that Razor Guardian. So at this point, it's just a matter of time as Razor chews up the last of the Solar Fleet ships.
Absolutely. And Razor Alliance saw that they weren't able to bring down this Loki, and they went for the Orneros instead. The Orneros is now dying. Once he's gone, the rest of the Solar Fleet ships will be quickly mopped up.
Yeah, I don't think this was a case of Razor bringing like a direct counter to Solar Fleet. I think it just came down to piloting choices made by the pilots in this one. What do you think?
I think so. This was a very strange Amar rush-ish kind of setup. Initially, we called them fielding beams, but they certainly weren't. At least Zeb pilot in the Absolution was fielding pulses. I haven't paid attention to the rest of the Absolution. I would assume that they all fielded pulses, in fact, and it was just a matter of having a little look at how the teams were going to stabilize and where they were going to feel comfortable at flying, what distances, and so on and so forth. One pilot did make a slight mistake, but Razor's FC was able to pull it back and bring this home.
Now you can see that the Loki is now a deep armor. Their Oneros is long gone. There's no repairs left on the Solar Fleet. That Loki's going to explode, leaving nothing but 2 Hugins, while Razor Alliance has all of their Absolutions, the Guardian, 2 Curses, and a Heretic. It's just a matter of time at this point.
Absolutely, and as that Loki blows up, now it's a race game between Razor Alliance's damage-dealing Absolutions catching up to these Hugins. Looks like Mactep is trying to pull away a little bit, but these Heretics from Razor have caught up to him and have scrambled him down. He's caught up, and Putrus seems to be the first one that's going to be popped, followed by Mactep after that, who is also tackled.
Yep, he's tackled, he's taken fire. It's going to be a quick one. This one is over. Were you surprised to see an Amar setup, Shadu?
Perhaps a little bit more surprised than I should have been. Certainly, Seamus was taken by surprise earlier
right.
today. We have seen quite a few Amar setups today, actually making short work.
Yeah, and we've talked about this at the commentary table, that it seemed like Mimitar for the rushing and Kaldari for the kiting just seemed like better setups altogether. But now twice here in the bracket stage, we've been proven wrong by almost solid Amar setups just destroying their competition.
Yeah, I'm not too convinced about this Razor setup itself. I think the Solar Fleet side was bringing a slight kind of weird anti-kite bomber setup from Tournament 5, I think, when they were really powerful and strong. But they are easily countered, especially with these Crores and other good frigates that can go in there and get a scramble on and take them down. I didn't expect to see a bomber set up in the bracket stages.
Kaboom with that, Maktep, or the Russian pronunciation Master, going down. That is the end of the Solar Fleet team. They are out of the tournament. Razor Alliance advances to the next step of the bracket. This half of the tournament is now over. We will bring you back to the studio with CCP Soundwave.